Hello, Miss Larry, are you alright?
Yeah.
So Eric and Ryan, right? They arrived in a city like Cambridge, right? For example, Eric, you arrive in a city like
Arrive?
yeah, you know. For example, if you're going to go to Cambridge to
I
have
already
fun.
am in Cambridge.
Okay, so let's say Paris. Okay, Eric, you want to visit Paris,
Yeah.
and Ryan wants to visit Paris as well.
If I can't speak French.
Sorry.
I can't speak French.
That's okay. You don't need to speak French to be there, right? Okay, so the point is that, for example, if you
never know.
arrive
You never know.
arrive at 10th of March, right? And then you leave, you departure at the 15th of March. Okay,
5 days?
yeah. And Ryan somehow arrived at 12th of March and leave at 22 of March. Okay, so we want to find out how many days you're both in Paris.
3.
And what are those 3 days?
12, 13, 14. Wait.
12, 13,
14.
14, so 15. Eh? You're both there in Paris. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 12, 13, 14, 15, right? But not 16. On 15, what happened? You're still in Paris, alright? You'll probably take a plane, but you are in Paris. Okay, so the question is asking how many days you both are in Paris, in the same place. Yeah, so 4 days. You just need to tell me it's 4 days. Okay, so for simplicity, we are assuming the year is not a leap year. What's leap year? The leap year affects only on how many days on February, right? If it's a leap year, how many days in February?
20? No, 29?
Okay, if it's not a leap year, it's 28, am I right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So for simplicity, it's not a leap year. We're given 4 dates. One, your arrival day, departure day, and Ryan's arrive, departure days. How would you calculate how many days you both stay in the same place? Logically, I mean,
Well, for this one, I just really did. You can. I can. I don't know.
so how do you know it's this?
Because like Eric
Mm-hmm.
arrives early
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that both of at least one day is because if they're like 0 days.
Yeah, it could be 0 days. For example, like, you know, you are here and Ryan here, or Ryan here, right? So basically, we are calculating the intersection of 2 intervals, am I right? Yeah, the interval. Look, this is you, Eric. This is you. Ryan could be here or here. Yeah, how many possibilities? So this is you, Eric. How many possibilities of Ryan? Ryan could be here, 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 or here, here, or here, or here. Am I right? Do you see my drawing? Do you understand my drawing here?
Isn't the bottom one same as the top one?
Oh, yes, you are right, yes. Okay. Good spot. So look, this case, 0 days, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
And all these, we can calculate the same way, all these. Of all the intersection. What's the intersection? Look here, in this case, it's this space. In this case, it's here, here, right? And here. Right? So basically, this question is asking for the intersection, the length of the intersection for 2 intervals, right? Because you arrive and departure, let's say interval, right? But how do we know the intervals? How do we convert the date? For example, the date 10th of March is 0310, right? 15th of March 0315. This is a string. How do we convert these into an interval? Put it this way, how do we measure the dates between these two? How do we measure? How do we calculate the date? Remember we talk about how do we calculate the dates between 2 dates of the same year.
You just if it's the same month, you can simply use math.
That's a good point. But if it's not the same month, what happened? If it's like how many days between 30th of January to 25th of March? How many days between? If it's not a leap year, if there are 28 days in February.
There will be one. There'll be let's see, 54.
How do you calculate 54?
I just count it.
You just count it. Yeah, you can count it. But for computer, how do we that computer? Remember, we can look at these 2 days. Look, I'm saying here, this is the beginning of the year, and January 30th is here. March 25 is here. Okay, so is this enough hint? How many days between these? So how we can do it by what? We want to get this bit. How many days? So how do we calculate it?
By minusing?
Minus, yes. So first of all, we need to calculate the number of days from the beginning, January 1st, to this first day. And then we calculate the days from January 1st to the second day. And we do the subtraction. Is it simpler than your approach? Alright? Is it simpler?
Sort of.
Yes. Be confident. It's simpler, okay? This is not a question. This is just saying it's simpler, okay? We want to find out the number of days between 2 dates in a calendar year. Right? Then we can do this subtraction by calculating the number of days since 1st of January, and we do the subtraction. Right? That will be easier. That's the way, okay? Otherwise, what would you do? You just count, okay, how many days till the end of January, plus the whole month of February, plus the days in March, right? You need to do these things.
Yeah.
It's complicated, so this is simpler. Okay, then we can convert this date to numbers. Then look, for example, like we can convert the date to numbers. And then we just have to check. If the departure day of Eric, no. If the departure day of Ryan is before the arrival day of Eric, or if the arrival date of Ryan is after the departure date of Eric, then there's no intersection. Then we return 0, right? So what's the intersection? It's this bit, right? It's this bit. So we want to get this bit. This bit is the departure day, the minimum of departure day, right? I get this point, minimum of departure day, and minus the maximum of arrival date, right? Here. Okay, this is one scenario. Okay, how about this? The minimum of the departure day is this, minus the maximum of departure day is this bit, right? It also works. And how about this? The minimum of departure day is this one. The maximum of arrival day is this one. So we minus. This one. If there's an intersection, there are only 3 possibilities. How do we calculate the intersection? The minimum of the departure date, minimum of these 2, which is this one, and minus the maximum of these 2, which is this one. The minimum of departure date, this one, minus the maximum of arrival date is this one, right? Is this bit. The minimum of departure date, which is this one, minus the maximum of arrival date, this one, which is this bit. Okay. So first of all, we need to know the days, right? Define the days. Eric 1, Eric 2, Ryan 1, Ryan 2. 1 is the arrival day, 2 is the departure day. Okay. And first of all, we need to get the day of the month. So we say month day equals for 31, 28, 31, yeah, etc. Right? Yeah, this is the number of days in each calendar month. So now we need to define the function. Define the function f date. Date will be in the format of this the month concatenated by a hyphen and the date. Now we need to get it, split this. Yeah, we need to split it by the hyphen. So the month, the date equals d dot split. Yeah, we talk about the split function. And we need to map it into integer because it's a character. We map it into integer. So it becomes an integer, right? Look, 15th of March. So how many days since the January? How many days since the January till 15th of March? How do you get it? Look, March is this one. What? January, February, March. Yeah. So how would you do it?
Do the first two, add it together, and then 15.
Well done. So we sum up the days of the previous month and plus the day of this month, right? Return sum. For simplicity, we can just put a 0 here, right? So we can sum MD up to the month, right? Up to the month. Then you sum up the days in the previous month plus the D, right? We need to find out if there's an intersection, right? So if Eric, this is Eric 1, right? This is Eric 2. This is Ryan 1, Ryan 2, Ryan 1, Ryan 2. So if Ryan 2, okay, so let me just write this E1, E1, E2, R1, R2. Yeah. So if R2 is smaller than E1 or R1 is bigger than E2, then return 0. Look, Ryan is here, Ryan is here, you are here. There's no intersection, return 0. Otherwise, return, we need to do this absolute value. So we want to get the minimum of F. This is E1, E2, R1, R2. We want to get the minimum of these departure day. So E2, F, R2 minus the maximum of arrival day, which is F, E1, F, R1, right? And then we have to plus 1 for the n days, right? Look, why do we need to plus 1? March 01 to March 02, how many days? 2 days, right? So we need to plus 1, simplicity. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you understand this approach?
Okay.
So what?
So
Yeah.
you got R1 and R2 and E1 and E2. R1 and E1 are the rise and E2 and R2 are the leave.
Yes.
MD is the month, the amount of days in every month. Because
Okay. What's the key takeaway for this approach? What have you learned from this approach?
well,
Yeah.
well, so you use like the minimum like starting day and see the difference of a like minimum leaving day and the maximum starting day.
Well done, yes. The intersection is bit, yeah? So we want to get the minimum of the departure day, which is this one. And the maximum of the arrival day, which is this one. And we do the subtraction is this one. It works for these 3 scenarios, right? This one, or this one, right? But obviously we have to check if there's intersection. Okay, so here, this is the day. We have to do this f function for it as well, right? So maybe we can save this variable. Yeah, we can save this variable, day 1, day 2, you know. Okay. Okay, so that's one way. The second way, yeah, very similar, right? And I'm going to talk straight away. And it's very convenient. How many days in a year?
355 and 356 on a leap year.
Okay, in this case, it's not a leap year, right? So it's 365. So how about if I plot this? This is 365 from the, from the 0, 1, 2, right, etc. Yeah, till 364, right? 0 the first day, okay? So look.
Why 364?
Because I start with 0. Yeah. Eric, you are here. Obviously, the f function is still needed, right? We need to convert the month's day to a day since January. So if we here, look, if we arrive here, right? This is a line with the numbers, 365 numbers. So if I'm saying you are here, you arrive here, I'm going to plus 1 here. And then you leave here, and then you leave here, and I need to minus 1 on the next day, right? So if you leave on the 5th of the, if you departure at the 5th of March, then on the 6th of March, I minus 1. Okay, on the 6th of March.
That's more like, that's
Okay.
more like,
Yeah, so
that's
you
more
look.
like June.
Yeah, I know. Just some example here, okay? Right? So now, Ryan arrived somehow here, right? Then you need to plus 1 here. And if it departure at this one, and then you do minus 1 on the next day, okay? So he's covered this period. I have these 365 of 65 buckets. You can say the counters, right? Bucket integers. So, for example, you are here 90 plus 1, and you leave at 95 minus 1. And then Ryan comes at 93 plus 1, 98 minus 1. Right? Something like that, example. Once that's very simple, then I can just go through this. I have a counter, right? At the beginning it's all 0, 0, 0. So look, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, right? And then I can do this accumulate, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so what I'm doing here. So how many days? How can we know which days are 2 people in the same place? So what numbers are we looking for?
2.
Exactly. We are looking for 2. Accumulate. So do you get it? So it's a ruler. A ruler, you know ruler. Each number on the ruler, right, represent a counter, a number. And I just have to mark it. You increment 1 on day 90 and decrement on 95 because you're leaving, right? And Ryan arrives at 93, leaves at 98, right? So I just have to do this plus 1, minus 1, minus 1. But this is not enough. I just have to go from the beginning with the counter. Now it's 0, yeah? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, I start 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, minus 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, minus 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You see? And then we are looking for 2. How many days? We just have to count this. Line sweep. From the left to the right. Using a counter. Or we can do this accumulate. Using the accumulate, right? Remember, the accumulate, what's accumulate? 1, 2, 3, 4. Accumulate. This, we turn this into accumulate. This accumulate. Then you become 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 plus 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, yeah? Accumulate, prefix sum, yeah? We talk about that. 1, 3, 6, 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to write the code for this one, okay? There are 365 days, so let's do this days equals, at the beginning 0 times, I need to put it as 367 because I need to mark the next day minus 1, right? I'm leaving at day 90, but I'm still in that place on day 90. I'm away, I'm not there on day 91, right? So we need to plus 1, okay? Let's say E1, E2, R1,
I thought
R2.
it's not a leap year. How come you plus 2?
300, that's a good question, okay? 365 days, right?
On not a leap year, and a leap year is 366. How come you plus 2?
That's a good question. Oh, F function, okay, F function. You know the F function returns the number of days since January. That's a very good question. Yeah, it's 366. But F function returns 1, number 1 for 1st of January. Alright? So this function returns number 1 on the 1st of January. Am I right? The day 0 is actually not used. So we start from 1 to 365. right? And then plus 1 day is 1 to 366. But in order to use the index 366, you have to allocate 367 because the index starts with 0, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
You're listening. That's a very good question. And let's say E1, E2 is already converted as a date, right? It's a number integer, right? So we can just do this days E1 plus equal 1. Days E2 plus 1, eh? You tell me why do we need to plus 1 here? Minus equal 1. And days R1 plus equal 1. Days R2 plus 1 minus equal 1. Okay? Look, I leave on Friday, so which day I'm away? So Friday I'm taking an airplane. So I'm still at that place, right? So I plus 1. The next day, Saturday, I'm not in that place, or I'm not in Paris. Yeah? So I need to plus 1 here. Yeah? I'm leaving at Friday, but I'm still in Paris on Friday. So I'm not in Paris the next day plus day. Okay? Yeah? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And now we just have to do this, right? Like answer equals 0. And then for I in range, we start from the first day to 366, right? Then there's a counter, C equals 0. C plus equals these days I, right? If C equal 2, then answer plus equals 1, right? Return answer. Alright? This is counter. That's what we're saying, like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, yeah? That's why it's basically we store a prefix sum, accumulate sum in the C, and we check if it's a day 2. If there are 2, 2 means the 2 people on the day, right? And we increment. If it's a 2, then we increment. Obviously, we can do this better. So we can accumulate, turn this into accumulate. So days equals this accumulate days, right? Then we do this accumulate sum. And then we just have to check, return days dot count 2, right? Look, and it will be simple. Time complexity. What's time complexity for this one?
Is it?
Very tricky. 01, yes. Why is 01?
Because it's numbers.
Yeah, because look, constant. Right? There are only 365 days. There can be more. The most you can run is 365 days. The iteration, right? The previous one is still 01, right? We are doing this conversion, and then there are only 12 months. There are only 12 months, and the f function also takes the 01 constant because there are only 12 months. The maximum number of iteration you need to run to get a day since January is 12. Time, space, both 01. Okay, so what have you learned today? And can you tell me what have you learned? There are 2 solutions. What have you learned? Which one you think is better, easy to understand? Okay, what's the problem? What solutions can we apply? Which one you like? And that's it.
So the problem is we have 2 people.
Yeah, 2 people.
And they go into this hotel.
Yes.
And so they have a arriving day and a leaving day.
Yes.
And so we want to work out how many days there are.
They are in the same place, in the hotel.
Yeah.
Both in the hotel. Okay. So what solution? What's the first solution? What's the second solution?
Well, so we have E1 and R1 are of arriving days, and E2 and R2 are of leaving days. So the maximum of arriving day, the difference. So the days is the maximum of the difference of the maximum arriving day and the minimum of leaving day.
Mm-hmm. That's the first solution, doing subtraction. Okay. And the second solution, what's this?
We have this kind of number line or something,
Yeah.
of some sort. 366 days so we plus 1 for the arriving day and minus 1 for the leaving day.
The next of the leaving day, right? Yeah. And then we do this scan from the beginning, do this accumulate sum. And what are we looking for? Which number we are looking for?
2.
And what's 2 mean?
There's 2 people and 2 is both of them.
That's right, yeah. And that's how we count it. And we can do this accumulate sum, right? Using accumulate, or we do this simple loop. Both common spaces of 1, okay? That's it for today. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ryan, are you right? Mr. Ryan, are you right? Yeah? So let's look at this interesting problem. Eric and Ryan, right?
Yes.
Eric and Ryan. You're going to Paris. Okay? You're going to Paris. Eric arrives in Paris at the 1st of March. And he left Paris at the 6th of March. Okay, and now Ryan, okay, you arrives at Paris at the, I don't know, 2nd of March. I leave at 10th of March.
Jeez. At
Okay?
least it was not like before. Like Eric goes 1 to 10, and me goes 7 to 20.
That's fine, okay? So the question comes that how many days you both are in Paris? On the departure day, okay? So this
4.
this departure day,
5.
you still count it at
5,
in the Paris, okay?
5.
5? How what are
4.
those?
Well, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Okay, so it's this bit, yeah? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So 5. Right? For simplicity, let's just only assume you both arrived in the same calendar year. Okay? So you both arrive and departure in the same calendar year. And also, for simplicity, we assume it's not a leap year. Do you still remember what's leap year?
Yes. It's when February has 29 days.
Okay, when it's the leap year, the February has 29. But when it's not leap year,
It has 28.
28 days. Okay, that's good. So we assume it's not a leap year, so February has 28 days. I give you like the day. For example, Eric arrives at the...
Is when I arrive and Eric leaves. That how much days?
Okay, so can we visualize it? Look, Eric here, right? You arrive, departure, and then you arrive, departure. So how many possibilities? Look, Eric, Ryan. Okay, I give a few solutions. Yeah? The possibilities. Eric, Ryan, right?
I arrive early.
Eric,
Can
Ryan.
Eric come back again?
no, just one single go. Eric, Ryan, Eric, Ryan, Eric. Any more
When the
in the middle, yeah? Eric,
when I arrive before him and leave before him.
we're done. Okay, so basically this. In what cases there are no days you both spend together? So there are 0 days you spend together. Which is 2 cases there are no intersection. So basically, look, there are 2 intervals.
The one at the right, top right corner.
Yeah, these 2. Okay. So you see, so we're visualizing the problem in intervals. So basically, we want to find out the number of days, the intersection between 2 intervals, right? So here, in this case, look, this one, there's no intersection. All the rest, look, all the rest, they are intersection, right? So how do we find out the intersection? Look at this. Okay, let me put this a little bit longer, okay? So look, the intersection is this bit, right? Alright? This intersection. This bit, right? This intersection. This bit. This intersection, this bit. Okay. All these 4 scenarios, we can visualize it as this one. All these 4 scenarios, we can get the intersection by, look at this end. This is E1, E2. and this is R1, R2, okay? Okay, so we want to find out the intersection. So this intersection is the minimum of E2, R2, okay? Minimum of E2, R2, and the left bit is maximum of E1, R1. You get it? Look at this. And how about this one? Look, E1, E2, R1, R2. The minimum of E2, R2 and maximum of E1, R1. Okay? The minimum of E2, R2 is this one. The maximum of E1, R1 is this one. So the intersection is this bit. Yes, it's right. Look, E1, E2, R1, R2. The minimum of E2, R2 is this bit, right? The maximum of R1, E1 is here, right? So intersection, this bit. And again here, E1, E2, R1, R2. The minimum of E2, R2 is here. The maximum of E1, R1 is here, right? You see? Okay. So we can get the intersection by this. It's from the maximum, this one, to minimum. So we go do the subtraction and do this ABS at the root value. Plus 1. We need to plus 1 for the n days, right? Because you arrive on the first, leave at second. How many days you spend together in Paris? 2 minus 1 plus 1 is 2 days, right? You count the day on your departure as being in Paris. I mean, we are given the date, yeah? Date will be something like this. First of all, we need to convert the date into a number. So what number? How can we convert this into a number? All the dates are in the one calendar year. So we can count how many days since what day. So I give you 2 days, right? Can you tell me the number of days between 5th of March to 1st of May? How many days in between? How many days between 5th of March to 1st of May? How many days in between?
You count how much days are there?
How do you count? I mean, let me ask you this question. How many days between 5th of March to 1st of May?
Both of the months have 31 days.
What's 31 days?
Both of them have 31 days, and then you count.
How do you count? How do you count it?
Use your brain.
Use a brain, but how do you count? Use a finger, like start from counting from 5th?
No, 31 minus 5.
31.
26.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you count the
that'll be
remaining
the
days.
end of the month.
Yeah, but you have to find out the remaining days in the current month, right? And plus the next whole month, plus next whole month, right? So basically, you do this way, right? Look, this is each month, yeah? So,
30 plus 20, 64.
okay, so you are counting here, right? So basically you want...
56.
Okay,
I
look, your approach is counting, look, this is 5th of March. You count the remaining days in that March. You plus the whole month, April. You plus the date for the May, right? Yeah, you do it counting, you add this, yeah? Is there other ways to do it? I mean, look,
Yes.
how to do it? What's here? January 1st. So how do we use this? How do we count the days? How do we know this bit? What's this bit? You want to know this day, right? Your approach is adding up these 3 segments, right? But let's say if I tell you, okay, I know that how many days since January 1st to May is this bit. Yeah? And how many days from January to here is this bit. So what's this bit? So I know this bit, so what's this bit? If this is A and this is B, so what's this?
C.
What's this? C equals what?
A minus B.
A minus B, okay? How do we calculate 2 days in a one calendar year?
You get the number that it ends. Number ends the May the 1st.
Hmm?
And you count from January the 1st.
Yeah, let's give A and what?
And then you count January to the 5th of March, the first number.
And
then you get B.
the same thing for B, right? And then you do the subtract, then that's the number of days. The key thing here is that we can count how many days between 2 days in one calendar year using the subtraction, we need to count how many days since the 1st of January, and then if we do that, we can do this subtraction. Okay? So suppose we have this function f day. Let's test the number of days since the 1st of January in that calendar year. Okay? Yeah, f function, and then we can do this. If I want to get a number of days d1 to d2, then we can do this f d1 minus f d2 abs plus 1. Okay? Then we can map the date to the number of days to the integer. Then we can do this simple math here. Of course, we have to check these two conditions when there are no intersections. If E2, okay, so the E1, E2, R1, R2, okay? So if R2 is smaller than E1 or R1 is bigger than E2, there is no intersection and we return 0. Otherwise, we return this ABS, mean E2, R2 minus maximum E1, R1 plus 1. So E2, R2, E1, R1, E2, R2 are the integers, are the number of days since 1st of January, and that can be obtained by this f function. F function, I'm going to simply write the one, okay? Now, O3 hyphen O5, a string. Now, first of all, we need to split this, right? Define f date A equals map integer d dot split hyphen d dot split hyphen, and we got an array with two string O3, O5, and then we need to map to integer, convert it to 3 and 5. Once we have 3 and 5, so I'm going to put this months and date, okay? Months and date, these are two integers. And then we need to count how many days since 1st of January, right? Look, how many days in January? 31, right? 28 February, it's not a leap year. 30, 31, etc., right? 2nd of February.
Wait, March doesn't have 30 days. April has 30 days and March has 31.
Ah, okay, thank you. 5th of March, how many days between January 1st to 5th of March? How do we count it? How would you do
You
it?
would add 31 and 28 together.
And then plus 5, right? So, okay, so you sum up the months before that, right? Alright, so we return sum the days, okay? Let's say this is an array, days equal, this is a tuple, right? Tuple contains 12 elements. Then we can say days up to months, right? But up to month we put an extra 0 at the beginning, right? So because we are not getting the month is 1 means January, and the index star is the 0, so we put an extra 0 at the beginning. So we sum up that and plus day, right? That's the day. That's the first approach. Basically, that function, we take in the string of day, we split it, we convert it to an integer, and then we count how many days, the whole month, right? Up to the previous month and plus the extra day, right? Extra day of the current month. And that f function returns the number of days since January. Using this f function, we'll be able to map the string date, arrival date, departure date into two integer, and then we compare. We just basically transform this problem into checking if there are intersection between two intervals. Yeah, and there are quite a few possibilities. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. The time complexity and space merge is O1 constant here because they are at most 12 months, 365 days. Am I right? Yes. Another way it will be quite interesting. It's called line sweep, and we will be able to use this prefix sum, accumulate. Remember accumulate. So look, how many days in a year? 365, right?
Or 366.
Okay, this is a line. A ruler. You know the ruler.
It rules.
Okay, the first day, second day, third day, etc. Okay, to 365. Okay.
That would not equal 3.
I know. Just an example. So
because the days are too big.
okay, so look. First of all, there's an arrival day, right? Something like that, right? I need to convert it to a number, right? So I have E1, E2. E1 for the arrival day of Eric, E2 for departure day of Eric. R1, R2. Arrival day for Ryan, departure day for Ryan. And these are 4 numbers mapped to this, right? Mapped to this ruler. E1, this here is E1, right? And here is E2. And for example, here is R1, here is R2, okay? At the beginning, all these 365, 66 buckets, right? You can think of it, the bucket, each bucket contains a counter number. So E1, I need to plus 1 here. And E2, the next of E2, I need to minus 1. Right? Because Eric is still in Paris at E2, but not in Paris when E2 plus 1, right? Here? And Ryan as again, here, plus 1. And minus 1 the next day after the departure. I have a counter. Okay, counter. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay? 2. 2, 2, 2. 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, let me do it again. Look. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Plus 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay? So let me write it. So it could be like that. 0, 0, 0, 1. Plus 1 here. Plus 1, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Minus 1, 1. Minus 1, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So how many days that you're both in Paris? How many days you post Paris? What are we looking for here?
6.
What are we looking for here?
What
are we looking for here in this line? Look at what they did there. Yeah? Accumulate F counter. 0, 0, 0, 0, plus 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, plus 1. 2, 2, 2, 2. Minus 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Minus 1. 0, 0, 0, 0. I have a counter. So what number are we looking for at least here? We need to count which number has 2. What does it mean? 2 by 2?
is when they're both together.
Well done,
2
exactly,
people.
yes. You see what I'm doing, yeah? Let's call a line sweeping, yeah? Line sweeping. Line sweep from the left to the right, right? I have a line sweeping, yeah? Okay? Yeah? So first of all, we have this counter day. Days at the beginning equals 0 times 367. Okay, why is this 367? Because the days start from the first one. So we need to use the index 1 to 365, right? But we need to plus 1 day. Why? As I said, the minus 1. What happened? When should we minus 1? The next day of departure, am I right? You're leaving at this Saturday. You're still in Paris on Saturday, am I right? You are not here on Sunday. So we need to minus 1 the next day of departure. So that's why we need to plus 1. So the index we are looking for is 1 to 366. So we need to do this times allocate an array with 367. Right? We are not using the first index anyway. Okay, and then now easier. Days F E1 plus equal 1. Days F E2 plus 1. Okay, departure day. The next day, departure day minus equal 1. Days F R1 plus 1. R1 plus equal 1. Days F R2 plus 1 minus equal 1. Okay, the next day of the departure. Then we just do this, yeah? Answer equals 0. C equals 0. For I in range, we start from what first day? 2, 366, right? 367, okay? C plus equal days I. If C equal 2, answer plus equal 1, right? And return answer. Look, C, the counter. And I need to check each day from 1 to 366. C plus this. One day they was doing counting. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. If it's 2, then I increment the answer, right? This, we can do this, we can use the accumulate. So first of all, we convert it to accumulate, right? A equals list accumulate. accumulate days. And then we just need to return a.count 2. Right? What's accumulate? 1, 2, 3, 4. An array with 1, 2, 3, 4. What's accumulate? When you do the accumulate returns an iterator. You convert it to a list. It will become 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 plus 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Right? This is accumulate. So each one becomes the sum from first element to the current element, right? 1 plus 2, 1, 3, 6, 10, right? So exactly here. Plus 0, plus 0, plus 0, 0, 0, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Yeah, got it? Time complexity and space complexity is a one constant because this problem we are given 2 days and then there are maximum 365 days and there are maximum 12 months. It's a bounded problem, so the time and space complexity is O1. Okay, so what have you learned today? What's the problem and how many ways we are solving this? Which way you like? Come on.
Online.
Okay, can you try to say a few more sentences? Okay, not just say a few words. Come on, try to. For example, I'm a mom. Just to explain to me what have you learned today?
I learned about calendar.
What's the problem? Come on, try to explain more.
We want to find how many days are we together.
Okay, and how do we do it?
We used the line method, blah blah.
What's the line method?
Is when you 0, 0, and you're looking for 2. How many days?
Yeah, accumulate some, right? So the problem is that we are given 2 pairs of arrival and departure days, right? E1, E2 represent the arrival day and departure day for Eric. R1, R2 means the arrival day and departure day for Ryan, right? And then these 4 dates are in one calendar, and we are assuming it's not a leap year. There are 365 days and there are 28 days in February. The question is that we want to find out how many days that you both, Eric and Ryan, stay in the same place, right? We need to convert the date, actual date, a string into a number, and we can do that by counting the number of days since January. When we're converting to the dates to a number, it's easy to do the math to calculate how many days between 2 dates, right? Alright. For example, Eric arrived at the 1st of March and departure at 5th of March. You cannot subtract the 2 dates easily, but you can subtract 2 numbers easily. Okay, so the first way is that when we do that, we are actually mapping the problem into finding the intersection of 2 intervals on the line, right? And then there are 2 possibilities that there is no intersection. When the departure day of the Ryan is before the arrival date of Eric, or when the arrival day of Ryan is after the departure day of Eric, there's no intersection. Otherwise, we can get the intersection by the mean E2 R2 minus max E1 R1. Yeah, we just showed it before. Okay, that's one way. The second method is that we have a 365, 66 bucket with the numbers, a counter, right? And then we can plus 1 on the departure day and minus 1 on the next day of departure day, and then we do this accumulate sum, a prefix sum from left to the right. That's called line sweep. And then we are looking for the value when it's become 2. That means that 2 people are on the same place. Okay? Pythagorean takes O1 time and O1 space because this is the bounded problem. Okay, there are only 12 months, 365 days. Okay, that's it for today. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.